Hello, and welcome to another episode of our StaTech Industry Modpack playthrough. Hope today's going swell and well for you so far. As for me, things are chugging along. Get it? Because it's Steam. Anyways, without further ado, let's dive into another episode. So yes, in between episode 2 and I believe this is 3, we've made quite a bit of progress. I believe we were kind of just sitting with this little setup here, these two, and maybe the farm. I think I had that up and out last episode. However, excuse me, I told you, every intro we get a little voice crack. However, I've made this new setup here, which we'll get into, and then this is what we're actually going to be trying to progress on today. So essentially, I did exactly what I said I was going to do. I made the bronze boiler and all the bronze machines that kind of go along with it. So if we check into the quest pack here, you'll see underneath interacting with machines, which is where we stopped last time, we went ahead and made ourselves the bronze macerator, the bronze mixer, the bronze furnace, and the bronze compressor. Now, obviously the bronze furnace does exactly what you think, and it just smelts things. But we get to use steam, so it's more efficient as far as converting the charcoal into burnable fuel, if that makes sense. So it is more efficient to use a bronze furnace than a normal furnace, and as long as you have an infinite steam setup, similar to what we have here, then you're good to go. Now, the way that all this is working seems a little complicated, but it's really not. So we have some create water wheels in the back, just churning some gears. Those gears are going to be turning several mechanical pumps. This way we don't ever run out of water, and I can use this water in future sources as well. That water is being pumped into the bronze boiler, which we have loaded with some charcoal. And then the steam is being pumped out using these fluid pipes from modern industrialization. Now I'm going to go ahead and break this pipe so I can fully show you how to actually do this, because oftentimes with modern industrialization, people get confused about the pipes. So if you set it down, you'll notice, well, it's not connecting to the machine. Now, in most mods with item transportation, fluid transportation, all that kind of stuff, that means that, oh, okay, well, I just can't use it on this machine. But what you need to do with modern industrialization is take your wrench and right-click the side that is facing your machine, like so. You'll hear the little gear ratchet, and it goes into the machine. You can also right-click on the pipe, and now you can change it. In, out, just out, so it's just pulling the steam out, and just in. We obviously want to pull it out, and so here we go. But now it's not connecting. This is kind of a nice little caveat that modern industrialization does, and that is it doesn't auto connect, which is good because it doesn't just automatically break your connections. However, if I right click again, you can see it extends down. It'll tell you the network transfer amount down there at the bottom, if you see, 2 millibuckets per tick. So this is roughly sending out 2 millibuckets per tick. But that's because that's all we need. That's all that this is consuming, so it's not going to send out more than what's necessary, essentially. We'll throw that back in there. So that's basically it. These machines just allow us to get better use out of our resources. So for example, the macerator, if I open this bad boy up, you know, it might be easier if I go to a piece of raw iron. Let's see here. I thought we had some raw iron in there already. Maybe I didn't throw it in the macerator. Let me go see. Oh no, we already have some in here. So if we take a look here at the macerator's recipe, you can put in 1 piece of raw iron, and you get 1 iron dust guaranteed, and then a 50% chance of getting an additional iron dust. This is really good. Sure, you can get more technically by using a hammer, but you're going to cost 15 durability every time you do this, and so it's going to wear and tear on your hammer to just guarantee that 1 extra iron dust. Now, if you really need it, yeah, absolutely do this. But otherwise, I just recommend throwing your stuff into the bronze macerator, as it will generally give you 1.5 times what you put in there. So With the dust, obviously you can then take the iron dust and go and smelt it to get yourself some more iron. So we'll throw that in there, and we'll even that out to an 8 stack, and we'll throw that in there. Now, we've collected a lot of iron. Yes, we're going to need a lot within just everything that we do here, but also I've been building structures that specifically take a lot of iron. So if you're not using these catwalk stuffs and this iron plating and all this, that, and the other, you probably won't need near as much iron as what I've used. But the sheet metal walls are made of iron, the catwalks are made of iron, and the ladder is made of iron. And the steps, which the steps I'm probably going to get rid of because I kind of like the catwalk style steps better, where they have the little handrail and it really fits in with the texture. But, you know, you don't know that until you try it out. So, yeah. Actually, what I can do is... I was hoping I'd have a little softer material, kind of like dirt. That's okay. So we'll put that there, there, and there. Now we'll just go back and break all these real quick. And then I'll come back through and replace this with catwalk. Now, the catwalk and all these iron platings that you see, again, they are not cheap on iron. So the sheet metal wall takes 6 sheet metal blocks, which takes 4 iron to make 16. Okay, that's not so bad. The iron plating stairs takes 9 iron plates to make 32 iron plating. Okay, again, not too terrible. But the catwalk, ladies and gents, takes 5 iron here and another 2 iron in the iron rod, so 7 total to make 8 catwalk. And obviously we have a lot of catwalk. So that's kind of been the primary grave digger for my iron, so to speak, if that makes any sense. There we go, and compressor, and keep on keeping on. I think 58 is the number of bricks we need to actually make 2 of the machines that we're going to be making today, and getting into all of that. Although, maybe not, because I think you can share walls on multi-blocks. I think I remember reading that last time, or maybe in between episodes. So today what we're going to be doing is building our first multi-block machine, which oftentimes can get confusing for people because where do you place the blocks? How do you know when it works? Yada, yada, yada. Can I place this one beside that one? And so on and so forth. So let's take a look back at our quest now. And we'll get into everything that everything else does and uses in the future. For instance, the mixer is used to typically alloy items, right? So in order to get bronze, you can put 3 copper, 1 tin in, and you get some bronze. This is a better recipe than if you were to put it into mixing, because you can see here 1 tin, 3 copper gets you only 2 bronze. So using the mixer instead of the mixing from create is actually better. And that would be a good reason to do that, because obviously you're going to need a lot of bronze in this pack as well. Speaking of which, do I have a decent amount of bronze before I start diving into trying to build this? We have 30 and 5 and another 16 here. So yeah, I'm going to say we're at least okay. We could definitely use some more, that's for sure. But I think we have enough to get us started here. So looking back at the quest, it wanted us to get some bricks. We got this by compressing our bricks down. And I kind of showed that in brief passing as we were dealing with things over here. So essentially, in order to get bricks in this mod pack, like the actual brick block, you need to place bricks in a bronze compressor. There's no crafting table recipe for bricks. So yeah, in a compressor, put 4 bricks, you get 1 brick. So it's still the same conversion rate, which is good. But it does take, obviously, a little bit of time, a little bit of steam, a little bit of setup to get it going. So once we have bricks, cool beans, we will go through and accept all of our quest rewards today. Don't worry. The coke oven. Now this quest required us to have 21 bricks, a coke oven, item input hatch, item output hatch, and this says fluid input hatch, but it really means a fluid output hatch. So because you end up getting creosote in this machine and you need to pull the creosote out of the machine. So let's dive into this. The coke oven is just going to be 8 bricks surrounding a furnace, and we're going to try and make 2 of these today. Realistically, in the future, I would like to make, let me see, I think I set up enough room for 6 of these. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But if they share a wall, I might can fit even more. 1, 2, that's 1, 1, 2, 3, that's 2. That's 3. Yeah, we might could fit like 8 of these bad boys over here. So let's see. Do I have any cobblestone on me? I do not. That's okay. I am trying to make the building in this Modpack playthrough a little bit better as well. A little bit more due diligence with it, ideally. So 1, 2, buckle my shoe. Send all that down. We'll send the bricks up. And 1 and a 2. Okay, Coca-Cola and Coke oven completed. Now we need the item input, item output, and fluid input. If I remember correctly, I don't have them marked yet. That one. And that one. So these things are fairly simple to make. They just require a bit of... I'll clear that in a little bit. A bit of resources. So let's get our bronze out. Everything related to bronze. We may want to go ahead and get some more rocking and rolling. We have 64 there and 16 there. So if I do 48 and 16, that should equal out to a nice level of bronze being created. Let's go over to the mixer. Throw those in. Cool. And we'll keep that going. It's always best to have things moving and progressing and sort of being worked on as you are going through trying to craft stuff, since crafting things does take a little bit of time, generally, sorry, not genuinely. All right, so for the bronze item inputs and outputs, remember we're going to need about 3 of these bronze machine casings because each input and output require at least 1. So if we need 3 of these, we need 24 bronze plates here. Plus another, what, 12 in here, so 36 bronze plates in total. So yeah, we actually don't have enough bronze at all, which I'm glad I got that rocking and rolling. I knew I was going to end up missing something in this episode. I went through and I was doing all my due diligence with the building and everything else. That's okay though, because bronze is right here. So let's see, we need, what did I say we needed? 36 or something like that. 8 times 3 is 24, and 4 times 3 is 12. So yeah, 36 plates all together. We have 5 there, so we need 31 more. Now we can get our plates in one of 2 manners, so we're gonna actually use both of these manners. We can do it how we previously were in the mechanical press, just like that. We'll throw it there and we'll leave it. However, we can also use the compressor. So if I take all these out, and just to double check, if we put this into a compressor, yes, indeed, we get a bronze plate. I actually don't want to be wrong about that, but that is how it typically works in modern industrialization. And there you go, see? Same thing, and if we run back over, stamping them out. So, and how many do we have in that stack? Well, I guess we just picked them all up. Fuck. Well, now I don't know how many I have, because I don't know how many I put over here. Let's see, that's 29 there, and I said I needed, what, 36? So we need another 7. Go throw this back over in this other machine, and wait for those to process up. And then we're also going to need bronze tank, so this is going to require another 8. So let's do that, and we'll just go throw this into the compressor. And while all this is working, we're going to go ahead and take our bronze dust and get it smelting. So we are, again, working on 2 facets at once. We're getting resources produced and smelted, and we're also building stuff. However, one thing this can lead to is a rather full inventory. Oh, you know what? Another thing, well, we'll talk about it here in just a minute. We're kind of in the middle of something. But I did do something else off camera that was and is very nice as far as quality of life, but maybe not necessarily something that you absolutely have to do or need to do, or yada, yada, yada. Okay, so we have enough to start out making these, and I think we're also going to need some hoppers. I think we'll need 2 hoppers. Can't make a hopper like that in this pack. Actually, I guess I should check and make sure that the hopper recipe is as it was. nickel, silver, tin, lead, steel plate, and iron. Okay, wow, that's pretty cool that you can make it using a bunch of different materials. I don't know why I made 8 chests there. I only needed 2, but sure. All right, so 2 hoppers, 2 hops this time. And let's put the hoppers up here. We're also gonna need, let's take this egg and can we make it? It's good, and we even hit a cow on the other side of the pen. All right. Sorry, got a little distracted there. That should be all of our plates, hopefully, that we need for this. And now let's look back in here, Okay, so outside of the plates, we also need bronze rings and bronze bolts. So let's go make those real quick. So let's throw our bronze plates. Each set of 4 bronze bolts requires 1 bronze double ingot. So if we take a look here, these bronze bolts, double ingot makes 4. 1, 2, 3. Cool. And I can throw that up, throw that. All those are done. Then we needed bronze rings. We already have 1, so all I really need is 2 more. So let's take a double ingot, and from this we get 2 bronze rings. Bada bing, bada boom. And as we go on in this mod pack, I will be going through these recipes less and less, okay? So pay attention in the beginning if you want to hand hold in yours, and in the end, if you're like, hey, I still don't know what's going on, I certainly don't mind trying to help, but it will be less prioritized because I'm trying to go through the steps now, and I can't in every single recipe be like, and this is how you make a gear, and this is how you make a gear. So try to pay attention, try to keep up, and if this is something that's a bit too complicated, which I certainly do understand, then I recommend starting with a thermal or a mechanism as far as automation type mod packs go. And that's just me being honest, having played all tops. And that's kind of why I'm playing this, because eventually I would love to play a GregTech pack, especially now that it's in 1.20. That makes it a lot more approachable for me. So I would really enjoy playing a GregTech pack, but it's a little daunting to me. I think it's a little scary, just how truly intensive the GregTech recipes and mechanics get, right? So I'm playing Modern Industrialization because I think it's a bit of a step down. Now, in order to make an output, you can put the hopper below the casing. And in order to make an input, you can put the hopper above the casing. However, if you happen to have made the wrong one, so we made 2 outputs, you can just put it in here and boom. Well, now we actually have 2 outputs. Put it back in. There's an input. So everything's good to go there. We have the input, we have the output. The fluid bit, it is going to actually want and require us to put a fluid input here to complete the quest, but we know better. We know we're going to need an output, not an input. So let's take a look back at the quest because I believe we just completed it. Yep. Once you have had enough of the bronze machines, you can start working toward making steel. That's exactly what we're doing. The ultimate goal is to be able to build the steam quarry. That's exactly what I want. A multi-block that will dig the ores for you. The first step in steel production is to make coke by heating coal without oxygen. To do this, you will need to make the coke oven multi-block. Now, the coke oven may sound familiar to you. That's because it's also in immersive engineering. That's the mod. And it's very similar. You put coal in, you get coke out. You also get creosote. So it's literally the exact same thing. Now, one thing to say about the multi-blocks is you usually cannot input and output from the controller directly. Instead, you have to use pipes. You have to use these automation-based things, right? If you're having trouble forming the multi-block, hold the W key on the coke oven in your inventory to see the ponder scene for the multi-block. Additionally, you can hold the wrench to see the missing blocks and errors. You can also hold a hatch to know where it can go. Once the coke oven says shape valid, fill the fluid input hatch with steam. Oh, you know what? We are going to need a fluid input. I forgot about steam. We're also going to need a fluid output, so I guess he still missed one there. Put coal into the item input hatch, and you're good to go. We might be able to bucket out the creosote, actually. I didn't think about that. Coke will be very useful for steel, but it also is a powerful fuel as it lasts 4 times as long as coal. Okay, so we are going to need the fluid input. Mobby. I'm glad I did that live instead of just being like, whoops. This is what you do. Don't question me. All right, so let's actually build this, and let's go through all the useful tips and hints that they just gave there. So the first one was you can hover over your coke oven, the actual controller block, hold down W to ponder, and voila, it's going to tell you where everything goes. It's going to show you a nice little scene about building it. And it's even going to remind you that the middle is hollow. And that's it. That's how we build it. So that's exactly what we're going to do right here. So we go boom, 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 boom. Now, our fluid input, this should be coming from our boilers over here. What we'll eventually end up doing is having that steam pop up over here and probably over here, like from the underside. So I think I want the fluid input on the back. Now, if I hold up the wrench, it's not going to do anything. And you're like, hey, didn't he just tell me that if I hold up the wrench, it's going to show me the whole machine and stuff? So you actually have to place down the coke oven bit, block, whatever you want to call it, first. Now, if I hold the wrench, you can see, oh, all these have to be brick. But if I hold down the fluid input hatch, output hatch, whatever the, any of the hatches, it'll show you all the green squares are where you can actually place these. So fluid input, good to go. Item input. This is where we're going to be inserting our coal and or charcoal from. Now, this isn't going to be automated early on, but it certainly can be later. And actually, I have a question. Charcoal, specifically. I have a charcoal question. Not a large steam furnace or a large furnace. Where is... Really? Oh, can you not use this at all? Let's see, hold on. Coke oven. You can put in coal and get coke and creosote, or you can put in coal dust. Okay. So normally you can put in logs and make charcoal in a coke oven, but I guess these are going to be very strict in saying, no, no, no. It's coal or nothing, baby. Okay. There's no way for us to get coal dust from charcoal, right? Guess not. All right, so we actually specifically, very, very specifically need coal. Well, hopefully we have some. I'm not going to lie. I was kind of going into this with the assumption that we could use charcoal. Aha! We do have some coal, though. So we're fine. So what we'll do is we'll bring this on over here so we can actually get it rocking and rolling. So our coal then, that makes it interesting. That means that our coal will eventually end up coming from our quarry, which I not actually thought about where I want to place the quarry yet, though I do think it's going to come over here. If we take a look at our base setup so far, what I'm thinking is this is obviously kind of our main hub for now, our main house, all the farm animals. This is going to continue to be farmland. I'm just going to make it into a larger farm, mostly for aesthetics, I think, but we might have an auto harvester somewhere out there. We're going to bring the base up and around down this path here that you see. It's going to curve around and come up through this sort of hill land over here so we can have more machines, more setups, all that in the back area. If we end up needing it, we can circle around and out, and we have all of this area here. And if we really need some extra space, we're going to split the path up and come out onto these two semi-islands here, like basically islands, but more so kind of like peninsulas, I guess, technically. These little land bridges, if the Bering Strait was still walkable, this is what it would look like. So yeah, that's the plan for the base. Work up, around, back, and around, and then if we need more, we'll come out and over to these. So, since that is being said, I guess we could have our inputs coming straight through on the back here. That kind of might be Cool. So bronze item input hatch will come right about here. And then we have the output hatch, which is going to be outputting coke. And coke. What are we doing with the coke? I think we're sending it into another multi-block structure, if I remember correctly. Oh wait, do we have to crush it down into coke dust? Sulfur, gunpowder, uncooked steel. We do need it into coke dust because you'll take iron dust and coke dust and make uncooked steel. This is ultimately what we're heading towards. I just kind of know the route. Okay, so then turning it into coal dust is going to be the best mannerisms. How do we get this? Okay. What is this? Large? Oh, it takes 8. All right. Sorry. Sometimes, y'all know, I'll get a little distracted. Okay, so if this is going to share a wall with another machine, I think I want to leave these. Sorry. I think I want to leave this side untouched by hatches. In which case, maybe the best methodology would be to just stick it right there. Put her there. All right. So we have output, input, and on the bottom side there, input. Let's finish this shaping here. Just as it said, we're going to leave that middle one empty. And voila. You'll notice that it works when your hatches change to be the same brick that they are surrounding. Also, when you right-click on it and it says shape valid, status active. You can also click on it to see the recipes. So we're going to need some steam coming right up in here, which means we're going to have to bring some steam over from here, which means we're probably going to go underground. And we'll have to make some more fluid pipes, more than likely. I would say like 95% chance of that. All right, and if I just, well, hell, we can just take this lower here. And we need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 forward, and 1, 2, 3 to the right. 17 and 3. 1. And we'll want to go one more down so we don't interrupt that water. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll mark 10 with a little indentation because I don't want to forget where I'm at and yada yada yada. We need a torch anyways. And 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 1, 2, and 3. Wow. Now I think we'll need more fluid pipes, but let's go ahead and start outputting them there. And you know what? I bet you I can save at least 2 of these if I don't go all the way to the bottom and rather just keep it on this floor here. Oh yeah, definitely gonna need some more of these. Sometimes it sounds like you're placing one down because you're trying to place one where one's already placed. It'll still make the sound, but it won't actually place one down. Just as a little heads up. Okay, so yeah, probably another little round of those being made. Let's go /home so we can hop in bed real quick. And then I guess we'll make some fluid pipes, which I don't know if we actually made that on camera last time or if that was something I just kind of made in between episodes, so it will be fine either which way. One thing we can do is go get some more bronze because we are going to need bronze for these fluid pipes. Okay, everything's cleared out of those machines. We're going to make sure we don't have anything back home sitting and waiting on us. So I feel like a little bit more iron, a little bit more bronze. Okay, fluid pipes. Let's get into those real quick. Put away some of the stuff that maybe doesn't matter as much. The building blocks need to come out. And they can go right there. Okay. That too. So let's look at fluid pipes. We're going to need 6 of these bronze curved plates and 2 of the copper rotors. So the bronze curved plates won't be too bad. What we can do... So we can make some normal bronze plates, and then we'll put them back through the compressor, which will make them curved. So that should be going for that. We'll need glass pane, which we already have inside. Grab that real quick. Boop. And some copper. I keep checking that chest, and that's not where my copper is. We're just going to make quite a few of these. Don't think we'll need that many for this, but we shall see. Okay, so again, we're going to need 4 of the copper bolts, 2 of the copper rings. Boom, boom. So that's 2 copper rings down, 4 bolts for each one, and we'll need 2 copper rods, I believe. And then for the copper blades, we also need copper curved plates. We're going to need 4 of these all day. I wonder, can I put this... You can put this into a compressor. Wow, so that actually kind of doubles the speed of the compressor as well if you double up your blocks. It's really, really nifty. Let's go ahead and throw those in. And can you... Oh, no, it just turns into a large plate. I was wondering if you could use create in order to make the curved plates, but it doesn't appear so. You know what? I think I made too many of those. I didn't mean to put... I didn't mean to put all of the double bars in there. Get rid of some of this extra stuff in the inventory because it is getting a bit clogged up. And eventually we will add more bronze boilers to this, and eventually we'll upgrade those bronze boilers to steam. And then further on past that, eventually we will get a large steam boiler, which is going to be real fun because that's when you get some real power behind your hands and the pipes just start going absolutely bananas. I ate all of my sweet potatoes and all of my fish. Oh, woe is me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's take some raw beef. That there. I don't want to use my coal, if at all possible. One piece in there. And yeah, fuck it, we'll throw one piece in there. Okay, so that should be all done with the bronze and the copper as far as curving the plates. Indeedly. Where is my pocket crafting table? Pocket crafting table is just by using a sign with a crafting table, and then it allows you portable crafts. All right, so let's do this. There's copper blades. Let's do this. There's the copper rotors. Then let's do this. There's the fluid pipes. So really simple. Little tedious, but simple. And we continue. I'll try and get up a little bit to do this. And if I right click, boom, tons of steam. Now, I don't know if I read this. Oh, shit. I don't know if I read this on camera or if this was an off camera kind of discovery. So I'll try and find it in the quest pack real quick, just so we can go over it, because I'd rather go over something twice than have missed it altogether, right? So the way that the fluid transfer amount works for these pipes, let me see if it'll tell me on here. Right clicking, tells you all that, 3 different. No, it's not telling you. Pipes are used in recipes placed in the world. Somewhere it tells you, oh, fluid pipe speed. So each fluid pipe has an internal buffer of exactly 1 bucket, 1,000 millibuckets. When you connect multiple pipes directly, they become linked and share their internal storage. So if I have 1 pipe down, it'll have an internal storage of 1 bucket. If I have 2 pipes connected, 2 buckets. Simple enough. Sorry, making sure it wasn't nighttime. So you can see here our network amount is 32 buckets, 32K millibuckets. So 32,000 millibuckets, which is 32 buckets. So all in all, we have 32 fluid pipes connected right here. Cool. Why is that important? How much fluid is transferred every tick is then bounded, I think it's just bound, is then bound by the total capacity of the network. For example, 25 fluid pipes linked together can transfer up to 25,000 millibuckets per tick of fluid, or 25 buckets. 25 fluid pipes can transfer 25 buckets per tick. That's pretty simple to understand, assuming that you can produce that much fluid, of course. Note that you might be limited by the transfer rates of the tanks and machines the pipes are connected to. So if you're like, hey, I'm not outputting as much as what I think I should be, maybe it's the fact that they can't input that much at a time. So definitely certainly something to think about there. Now, here is our fluid pipes. Let's just run this in here. And you don't always need the wrench. So for example, I still have just the fluid pipes in hand. If I right click on here, it's going to send it in. If I right click on here, it's going to connect it. And now if we look into our beautiful Coke oven, you can see the steam is filled up. You can't see it in here, but if you're looking at the jade little thing at the top, or JI, whatever the hell, Kai, you know, whatever that might be in the top middle, I'm not sure. So there's a ton of different, I don't even know if Kai is for that or if it's like a recipe editor. Anyways, we have steam in. Cool. So now we need to input items, not into there, obviously. We need to input them back here. And then we will output them from, just going flying. We'll output them from up here. Now, while you can't input and output things from the controller, what you can do is go to the hatch. So if I open this bronze item input hatch and throw in the coal and come back to this, you can see, whoa, it's on. It'll show you a little progress bar. And if you right click it, it'll even tell you recipe base. We're using 2 EU per tick, 2 steam per tick essentially. And the recipe current is using 2. So things can get overclocked in the future, where essentially the longer the machine runs, the faster it runs. This, don't worry about all that right now. Right now, it's just taking 2 steam per tick to make us Coke. Boom. And that's it. From here, you can pull out using item pipes or whatever you want. If you put it on the bottom, you can use a hopper to pull it out. Same thing for back here. We can input using a hopper. We can output or input using pipes, whatever we so choose. But that is going to be the basis of it. Now, for the sake of testing this multi-block connected wall theory out, I want to try, and we're not going to add any of the fluid input output hatches because that'll take a long time. I'm just going to try sharing this wall, which is the left wall for this Coke oven, with the right wall for this Coke oven. Now, in order to test if a shape is valid, you don't actually need all the fluid inputs and output hatches. You just need to set it down, and you can see here, status active. Wow. So this wall can officially be shared. Again, don't put any hatches there because it won't know which machine essentially to pull from, right? It's going to be left, right, left. So just keep your hatches towards the center if you can, and that should help to alleviate that problem. Get some steak. Okay. So we now have Coke. Let's check back into the quests real quick. We need Coke dust, which we can get by putting it into the macerator. And of course, we could put our coal in here first. Oh my god, that is a horrible sound. We could have put our coal in here first into the macerator and then went and put it through the blast furnace. I don't know if there's a difference because this still uses, let's see, 2 EU and it takes 30 seconds. And then the other Coke, let's see, 2 EU, 30 seconds. So it's literally the exact same. And we should be getting filled up with creosote in here, I think. Is it just not being made because we don't have any kind of output for it? If that's the case, then I need to stop using it until we can get another fluid output hatch, because otherwise we're just wasting creosote because it's not being produced. Essentially, the way modern industrialization machines work is if there's not an output for it, it's not going to make it. It's just going to delete it. So let's work on getting that done really quick. And I think the quickest way for us to do that is going to be 4 over here, 4 over there. And we'll just make ourselves another fluid output hatch, right? 4 in there. And that should go relatively quickly. We also probably wouldn't hurt from dropping off some of our ingots and stuff back over here. Like that. And that can go in there. Okay. So we got coal, we got coke dust, large steam furnace. Tired of waiting for those vanilla furnaces for... Oh, yeah, we don't need this yet. This is going to be later on whenever we can actually afford it as far as power and steam goes. Now, just as I said, uncooked steel dust, we're going to need to put 7 iron dust and 2 coke dust into a mixer, and that will get us our first semi-form of steam. First, let's get our creosote, because we are going to want creosote. And bam. Let's do this. Is that not how you make a tank? How do you make a tank? Oh, it's a solid piece of glass. Okay. One of these. And that. Okay, so there's a bronze tank. And then to make this input-output, we need, what, 12 more of these things? And you know what? I don't feel like waiting. So I'm going to throw them in here. Make double. Throw that and that. Actually, no, if I make it double, then we don't have to wait as long. Ah, fuck it, I'm already here. Don't judge me, all right? I mean, you can if you want to, but you ain't gotta. Ah, son of a bitch, Chance, you're doing this all wrong. I'm getting distracted. By what, Chance? Absolutely nothing. My own silliness. Bronze gear. Right here. Oh, we need 6 more of those. And yeah, I'm kind of wasting hammer durability here, but why'd that give me 5? What? Those were... What? I guess don't shift click on that. Oh, you only get 1 for a... Oh my gosh, what... I'm just wasting it. I'm just wasting resources. So what do I actually need then? I need 8 of those bad boys. We have 5 right now. Goodness me. That moment when you're trying to be lazy, but then you realize your laziness only causes you to have to work harder, and you're like, wait a minute, this isn't what I signed up for. I was told this would be easier. All right. Hi-ho, New Zealand. Here we go. Let's do that and that and that. That up there. Little output. Is this output? That's output. All right, now let's give ourselves somewhere to send this creosote to. Where do I want to send the creosote to? I guess out the front middle, right? Because we pretty much need to maintain only using the middle slots here. That. Now this should fill up with creosote. However, I don't want it to necessarily just fill up. Is there an easier way to get a tank, or is exactly what I'm doing the only way that we really get an early tank? Fluid tank. This requires copper plates and a steel plate. You, you cheeky bastard. But this empty cell, how much can it hold? Doesn't really tell you. I'm pretty sure this has been explained in the quest book somewhere. I feel like I remember. Oh, there it is. Empty cell. Want something to move fluids manually between machines a little easier? The Tech Reborn fluid cells act similar to IC2 fluid cells and allow you to pick up and move fluids between machines UIs. Only certain fluids can be placed from cells. Okay. Oh, try it. I think it's just 410. Which is the opposite of a big okay. You get it? Because 10-4 is okay. 410. Anyways, oh, we don't have any tin. Awkward. Okay, well that's fine. Let's just make another tank, which means we just need 7 of these smashed on down. I'm not going to make the mistake that I made last time, so let's just do 8. Smash that, and we'll go throw this in the compressor. And then we will go grab another piece of glass, I suppose. And so yeah, we're getting into steel production. That is essentially what we want, because if we move on down here, and what I would recommend you to do, ignore everything. Basically what you want to do is you want to come straight down here into steel, get the steam blast furnace over into the steel ingots. You will want to pick up the steam mining drill before going towards the steam quarry, because this mining drill has silk touch just innately on it. The silk touch is going to allow you to pick up the ore block. So if I take a look at iron here, it's going to allow you to pick up this iron ore block instead of potentially only getting 1 raw iron. And then from this, you can make 3, right? So it's a way to 3x your iron ore output. And then if you get lucky and you throw it in the macerator, you could technically, theoretically, get 6 iron dust from 1 iron ore, which is pretty freaking good. It means you got to mine less. It means you need less to get everything rocking and rolling. Now, obviously, we're pretty good on iron, but if this were to be some other kind of material, it would be a bit nicer. All right. Let us go forth and check for... There we are. Did I ever grab... I did not grab a piece of glass. I just kind of came over here and started rambling, didn't I? I'm real good at that. Real good at it. Okay, so glass. Bronze plates. Tell me I still have some fluid pipes. I think I see them. I do. And let's go pull this out. Do. Place that there. It doesn't have to be pretty for the time being. Let's place it here, because then it can come out from this and this. And into there. Now, another reason why your pipes may not be working. Make sure that your input and output are set appropriately. So this isn't going to pull anything out because, well, both of these are just sending stuff in. We have no output. We have nothing coming into the pipe system. So let's change this to out. Now it makes sense. Comes out, goes in. Comes out, goes in. Once we get to item pipes, I will go through another large problem that I see often with modern industrialization pipes, specifically item pipes, and people thinking that they don't work, much as what I have in the past. But I can assure you, in fact, they do. Okay, so let's throw the coal in here now. We may not want to throw so much. How much does this actually make whenever we go to produce this? Makes 500 mill buckets. So if we have a tank of 4,000 or 4 buckets, and this is another 4,000, so 8,000, that's what? 2 makes each of it, so 16 realistically is where we should be sitting at, although 1 kind of already went in, so we'll do like that. 15. All right, let's see. Are we getting well, there's the coke. Production chance is only 50%. Is this 100%? No, it's always only 50% in this. You can get it from wood tar, benzene, toluene, heavy. Really, this is not something that I've seen in here before. Wood tar, and then the pyrolysis oven can, guarantee you. Okay, again, this is not something that I've seen in modern industrialization. I don't think that one was in Neotech. So there we go, creosote. Fantastic. Now, what can creosote be used in? Well, typically a lot of stuff, but let me double check myself before I wreck myself. Okay, so we have rails that it can be made with, and lubricant, right. Lubricant we are gonna need, because this is what allows the cutting machine to cut. And now you're gonna see a whole lot of pages. It's because the cutting machine has a lot of recipes that they're kind of just the same thing over and over again. But similarly to the way that the compressor turns your ingots into plates and then curved plates, the cutting machine allows you to turn your ingots into rods and bolts, which is pretty nice, because now it means that we will be able to make everything that our hammer can make, but we won't need a hammer. So we won't have to worry about durability or anything like that. Just steam, which basically comes from charcoal, And I know what you're saying. Well, Chance, there's no vein miner in this pack. Charcoal comes from trees, and I am sick and tired of chopping trees. Well, there's two decent solutions here for you. Both of them work perfectly fine. One's a little more manual, but perhaps one could argue that it's a little more satisfying. So we have this iron lumber axe here, and if I were to go walk up to a tree, this is your new vein miner, buddy. This is your new c'est la vie to the tree, so to speak. So if you walk up, you chop on a tree, boom, everything gets chopped. Obviously, this is really good and really allows you to. Oh man, I did this in the middle of a big ass field where I can't see where everything dropped to. Not recommended. All right, we'll just assume we got everything. But yeah, that was one chop and we got well over a stack, right? So iron lumber axe, that is one methodology to automating, quote unquote, automating your tree pickup. Because obviously if you can walk out, smack one tree a couple times and get almost 2 stacks of logs, you're pretty much good to go. Now, in order to make this thing, you will need the either the create pressing setup or the compressor, so you can get yourself some iron plates, or I guess you could even just use the forge hammer, but in order to get the forge hammer, you have to have pressing from create. So kind of big circle there, and it will take a block of iron. But again, as you saw how powerful this is, it's definitely worth it. It's like 10,000% worth it to use the iron lumber axe to go get yourself trees and wood and all that. However, I like to have a completely hands-off approach because there's not a whole lot of trees around here. I hate doing the setups like what y'all saw in the beginning where I just have a ton of trees smacked together. I'll do it if I have to, okay? I will, but I don't like it. So we've instead opted for create. And again, this is something with create that is not necessary. You do not have to do this. It's not even, I mean, it definitely is more efficient than using the lumber axe, but like, using the lumber axe is going to get you plenty of wood. Just go plant down some spruce trees all close together, smack them down. You'll be fine and good to go. That being said, if you're like me and you absolutely don't want to touch tree production or tree chop down or any of that kind of stuff, what you can do is you can build yourself a little tree harvesting setup using create. And I have the most basic setup here. It doesn't work automatically. As you can see, there's nothing to place down saplings, because if you do that, then you have to go and you have to make the deployers, which, you know, making 3 of these, this is where it gets complicated. But making the mechanical saws and the portable storage interface and the chest, none of that stuff is very difficult. Down below, we just have a little water wheel powering it. I think I'm going to need to time this correctly to get out of here. There we go. So yeah, and then we have a mechanical, excuse me, a mechanical bearing with all this stuff on top that has been glued. And again, everything that I've mentioned here can be found in some create tutorial, so I'm not going to go through everything. Super glue, you can make slime balls, iron plates, and iron nuggets. You can make slime balls, excuse me, by taking dough and lime dye. Dough you can get one of 2 ways, or hell, it looks like a lot of ways. But you're really going to need wheat flour, which you can get by putting wheat into a macerator, or milling it, I guess, if you want to go to the create route. And then you add water to it, and lime dye is pretty easy. You just need some green dye from cacti and white dye from bone meal. So, super glue the whole machine together. The only things you really need are the mechanical saws, the portable storage interface, and some kind of chest to hold the stuff. From there, you just take your trees and plant them down manually. I don't need to have the deployer to do this. I can just do this myself. I don't like that one being that far out. The kind of trees that I have within this biome make it to where I can't really do trees all the way to the full edge extent because the way they grow. Essentially what has to happen is the mechanical saw has to chop down every single block within a tree, like the last one essentially holding the leg up, needs to be chopped in order for it to work. So we'll just throw down all those. We'll go off and do our stuff again, and we'll come back, and this will be filled up with even more logs, more saplings, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, that's it. That's how I get all my wood. But again, you don't have to do that, and the lumber axe works perfectly fine for chopping trees. These two trees over here were completely built by hand. They were not just randomly grown. So if you're like, hey, how'd you get those trees out front? I built them. I did not make them by hand. The leaves are a leaf pile from Promenade, and they are very easy to make as well. Oh. Just put two leaves together, and this goes for any leaves. So there's that. Let's see how we're doing over here with the coke. We have almost 3 buckets in there. All the coke is processed through and out. Fantastic. We are going to have to macerate it. Ooh. And let me check back in here. Uncooked coke. So we need 2 coke dust and 7 iron dust. Now, do I have any more iron dust, or am I going to have to take some of those ingots that I already smelted up? I don't know why I always go in there and break it back down. We do have some iron dust, but I don't think it's enough, right? Yeah, we need 7. We have 6. Off by 1. That's fine. We're going to take that out of there. Oh, no. That in. These machines. I know there's a way you can muffle them. I should really figure that out. Of course, I guess. Oh, well, hell, it's done now. Yeah, we'll set up the muting of stuff because it's not fantastic. All right, so 7 iron dust, 2 coke dust. Spin me round, right round, baby. Uncooked steel dust. Now, this is not like most dust where you can just throw it into a normal furnace and get steel. We're going to specifically require a steam blast furnace. Hold W on this so we can see it real quick. But it's literally built up the exact same as the coke oven. Oh, I'm sorry. It has an extra layer. Oh, and I also apologize for the yawn. So we have uncooked steel now. We just need to cook it. So in order to do that, we're going to need some fire clay bricks. We're going to need a steam blast furnace, and we're going to need 3 more hatches. The hatch slinging, the slash slinging. Sorry, too much SpongeBob growing up. Some of you may know how that goes. Okay, so to make the fire clay dust, we need clay dust, we need brick dust. This is going to give us this. Essentially, we just need an absolute ass ton of clay. 4 of these makes 1 of those. Yeah, because we need 29 there. We need another 8 here. That's 37 fire clay bricks. In order to make 1 fire clay brick, we need 4 fire clay. So what is that? 37 times 4. Anybody quick on their toes? Calculator is 148. Okay. So we need 148 of these fire clay dust. And we can make 4 of these from essentially 1 clay turns into 1 clay dust. So we need 148 clay. Right? Because we have 4 here, turns into 4. Each one of these essentially represents 1 piece of clay. Clay dust is made by macerating clay, 1-to-1 ratio. Cool. I should have saved this, and that. Brick dust is made by taking a brick and macerating it. Now, we did this some other way earlier on, but this is going to actually give you what you want. Oh, hello. We can also use terracotta. Okay. That's actually going to be the move because we do have a bit of terracotta, and that saves us from having to mine near as much clay. But if I come back up over to our desert village with this little waystone here, Moloric, there's just an ass ton of terracotta over here. So that works. That'll be nice for knocking that out. But for today, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's all the time we're going to have because otherwise I'm just going and gathering terracotta and coming back and making another multi-block structure. Now, next episode, what I plan on doing in between episodes is making another bit of progress. More than likely what I'll do is go ahead and get the steam blast furnace up and going. I will make quite a bit of steel Because in order to make steel, it is quite literally just taking our uncooked steel dust and putting it in the steam blast furnace with some steam, obviously. And that's it. So you essentially know how to get steel now. So from this, I will, as I said, kind of move a little bit further past this. We'll go ahead and get steel in between episodes. Probably go ahead and get the steam mining drill, and we will work our way towards the steam quarry, because once we have the steam quarry up and running, that's when things really kind of take off with automation, because you now have resource automation. For those of you that don't know about the steam quarry, essentially the way it works is you put in different drills, right? So there's a bronze drill, a zinc drill, a copper drill, and it gives you different items. So for the bronze drill, 40% chance you'll get iron ore, 40% chance you'll get coal ore. Fantastic. That means we can get steel in order to continue to make more steam quarries. Lignite coal, copper ore, tin ore, fantastic. So now I'll be able to make more bronze, so I can make more bronze drills. Awesome. The biggest note is that the steam quarry gives you more than enough materials to cycle it continuing to run. It'll give you enough coal to continue to make steam, to continue to have the machine run. It'll also give you enough copper and tin to make enough bronze to make enough drills to continuously run. So what we really want is that quarry, so we don't have to keep going down and mining for basic resources like iron, copper, tin, all this kind of stuff, which is essentially, as soon as we get that steam quarry up and running, going to be completely null and void. We don't have to do all this stuff where we're running around trying to find it in the ground and all that, right? So that's my objective. I don't know if we'll get all the way to the quarry in between episodes, or if I'll just try to get right up next to it with how much steel we'll need. And then ideally in the next episode, we'll be like building it. Oh, you know what? I never even finished this catwalk in this episode. Definitely something that needs to be finished. But y'all know I don't typically do too much aesthetic building on episodes, because it takes me like 5 million years to figure out what the heck I want to do with my building. And that's why I'm like, you know, I'll kind of just keep it to myself and show you when it's done, because I feel like I'm fine at exploring a building or a setup and being like, hey, look, this is everything, c'est la vie. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know what I mean. Throw that in there. Let's make ourselves 4 more of those. There's so many extra materials. Don't go doing that. If I throw copper plates in with the food, I will never be able to find them. And then we will truly be doomed. But what I wanted to do is just, while we're here in the episode, let's try and finish this catwalk off, so we can say together forever, we did it. One thing I've noticed also weirdly about the catwalk, you can't do stairs going up, but you can going down. So if you're like, hey, why are my stairs not working for my catwalk? I don't get it. It's like you have to go up then down, not down then up. So boom, boom. Oh shit, I'm falling. Oh, this isn't gonna work. It's not you, it's me. Why is this not working? Why? Oh, you son of a bitch. As soon as I hop off, you decide that's when you wanna be cheeky. There we go. There we are. Like this. I really want this to look like a factory. Oftentimes, we build big automation areas, and we simply don't make them look as factory-esque as what I feel like they should. So in this playthrough, ladies and gents, we're changing that. This is going to be a factory through and through. We want catwalks. We want large industrial pipes sticking out of the ground. I want some industrial waste pouring out dangerously over the side, possibly contaminating our animal area. We'll see how realistic we want to get with this stuff, okay? But yeah, I am pretty happy. And again, this is going to contain another 1, 2 coke ovens on this side, and we'll do 4 more on that side. And you may be saying, Chance, why so many coke ovens? We're going to need it. Trust me. We're going to need the creosote. We're going to need the coke. Trust me. Everything in this mod pack, everything dealing with modern industrialization, if you think you need 1, make 4. If you think you need 4, make 8. and so on and so forth. Like just always make more than what you need. So for this, I was well, obviously I initially was thinking 6, but before that I was thinking, well, I'll just do 3 coke ovens. It'll be set up pretty nicely side by side, and that should be good. So I said, okay, if I think that I'll want 3, then let me make 6. And then obviously I read about being able to combine a wall, and that saves on a ton of materials and space. So now we can do 8 of these bad boys within the same space. If you're wondering what this little center spot is going to be, this should be our steam, or the thing that I was just talking about to get steel, because we're essentially just going to pump everything back into here. We'll pump iron from the back from the quarry. We'll pump the coke from the front once it gets processed. And yeah, this will be sort of our center steel making machine. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I do hope you enjoyed this episode. I personally have been very much enjoying this mod pack. We're of course still playing and enjoying Optilusync as well. And I've actually kind of hit a new stride, new breakthrough with that mod pack to kind of make it good again. It wasn't ever really bad, but we kind of lost stepping and lost footing with really a good line of sight on automation and what progress routes we should be taking in that mod pack. That being said, this mod pack has been very, very fun so far. It is very slow, so if you're wondering why we're moving at a snail's pace, it's because, well, that's kind of the pace that you move with this mod pack and with modern industrialization, just due to all of the early game sort of crafts. But trust me, it's not as bad as Greg Tech. Anyways, with all that being said and out of the way, I do hope you all enjoyed the video. Be sure to leave a like down below if you did. Of course, comment if you have any extra tips, tidbits, or bits of advice that may be useful or helpful to me personally, or anyone else that may come along and read the comments. Of course, if you have any questions that I can help assist with, feel free to ask them down below as well. Subscribe if you're new here, you want to see more awesome content from yours truly, and as per the usual, share it out with friends, family, strangers down the street, and random people you might meet. Until next time, I do hope you all stay safe, stay awesome, and stay crafting. Peace.